The petrodollar was a deal which should be understood as if we were talking about gangsters, and maybe that's what we are. The United States, the United States figured out right after World War II that the energy of the future was petroleum. A lot of people knew that even before World War II, but by the time of World War II, it was clear that energy would require oil everywhere in the world. If you're going to industrialize, you're going to need oil and lots of it. And in those days, oil was really mostly coming from the Middle East. We had some in the Texas, but it was clear already that that would never be enough to take care of us. The whole modern fracking with its oil, we hadn't, that was not known at that time. So in the aftermath of World War II, a deal was cut. And it was cut with the United States and Britain taking the lead and carving up the desert around Saudi Arabia into 7 or 8 little countries, Saudi Arabia being the primary one, sitting on oil, which that whole area of the world was doing, sitting on oil. And we created, out of nothing, 7 or 8 little countries, countries like Qatar and Bahrain and Kuwait and United Arab Emirates and things like that. And here was the deal. In each case, a particular local family was told, you can become billionaires. You will be the head of a country. We'll set it up. We'll write the boundary on a little map, the way European colonialists had been doing in Asia, Africa, and Latin America for the previous 3 centuries. So they were all into it. We will carve it up. Each of you will now get a cut of the oil. We'll take care. We 5 American companies, 2 European companies, the 7 sisters, we will come and bring the oil up. You can participate sooner or later in that. You can take a nice cut off the top, a cut that will make you instantaneously not a rural desert family, but a sultan of something, an emir of something else. You can buy chateaus in the south of France to have as your vacation home. You will be the richest people on the planet. And here, so this is what's in it for you. We, the Americans, are the major buyers of oil in the world because we're the dominant economy. So you're going to sell oil to us. We're going to pay you in dollars. But we're going to require you to demand of anyone in the world who buys oil from you payment in dollars. That's the deal. You have to do that if you want us to buy your oil. And we're the major buyer. And we'll throw in another thing. We will locate American military bases in your country to protect you so that nobody messes up this gangster arrangement we have. Here in America, we're going to get oil from you at a good price. We'll convert it into gasoline, fertilizer, make a ton of money. We big oil companies that are doing this, and we're governing the government, the politicians who made the deal, who included people like Kissinger and Nixon, by the way, if you want the names. And what finally did the gangsters agree to? One more thing was demanded of those sheiks in Arabi, those leaders, I put in quotation marks, of those countries. If ever the joke, it's not a country, it's a gas station pretending to be a country, if that joke was ever applied, it applies to those silly little countries there. Okay. The final part of the deal, all the dollars you get from America, but getting much of your oil, and from anybody else in the world who buys your oil, who has to pay in dollars, what are you going to do with all those dollars? You have to commit to invest them in the United States. What does that mean? You can go into the stock market and you can buy shares of companies. We won't allow you to buy more than a certain amount. You can't control them. You can just invest in them. And the rest, you lend to the United States government. Americans know that when we run a deficit in our budget, currently over $1 trillion a year, when we run a deficit, it's because the government spends more than it raises in taxes. Did you ever wonder who lends to the government of the United States, enabling it to do that? Well, turns out one, not the only one, but one important lender, the gangsters in the Gulf who lend that money to the United States government. So we send the dollars over there, they send the oil to us, then they send the dollars back to us as loans. Of course, this is a gangster arrangement, and it's all paid for by the money we all spend on the oil that makes all of this happen. It is a ripoff that will be celebrated throughout history for the extraordinary way the American empire organized the global oil business to enable it to be the empire. Because when the Gulf states lend money to the United States uses it to fight the wars in Afghanistan and Vietnam and now Iran, because America never fights wars with tax money, because if the taxpayers had to pay for the war, they would oppose it.